So this is the case. This patient, 65-year-old man, had a bilateral femur fracture. We're talking of the left side, which is severely malunited, and in the distal third. And as you can see, we were talking in the morning, if the other side is normal or near normal, we can calculate the MDFA and MPTA pretty accurately and try and restore that, even in extra-articular deformities. So you can see that this patient also had a recurvatum deformity, so we have to analyze the sagittal plane of the deformity as well. So this patient had a 15-degree varus deformity and a recurvatum deformity as well. So the principles of kinematic alignment are that you cut equal distal medial and distal lateral considering the cartilage loss. So 8 and 6 or 9 and 7 is the distal medial and distal lateral cut, and the posterior medial and the posterior lateral cut are also equal, 9 and 9 or 10 and 10. So the interepicondylar axis, the insole boot, the grand piano are of not much relevance in kinematic alignment. What is of relevance is to create the pre-arthritic joint line by cutting equal distal medial, equal distal lateral, equal posterior lateral, and equal posterior medial. So femur is not negotiable, so you got to do the femur first. So when you do that, you can see that the femur is in valgus 1 or 2 degrees, the tibia is in varus 2 or 3 degrees. So you can see that the varus on the tibia is 3 degrees, the valgus on the femur is 2 degrees, the distal lateral extension gap and the flexion gap is more. So that's what you want. The flexion gap in the lateral side has to be 2 or 3 millimeter more. And the final alignment is about 1 degree varus without doing much soft tissue release. That's the verification of the cut. And it's interesting that you don't need to do much soft tissue release even in extra-articular deformity. So we don't go to the posterior medial corner, we don't release the semimembranosis, we don't pie crust, and we don't do anything including downsizing. And in this case, the PCL was intact, but because of the recurvatum deformity, we were suspect of the PCL. So ideally in kinematic alignment, the PCL needs to be preserved. So that's the final alignment without doing any soft tissue release, without doing any pie crusting or downsizing. Flexion 3, varus 2. And that's the final assessment of the gap balancing. Now let's analyze critically the X-rays. So we are horrified of putting varus on the tibia. We should not be. 2 to 3 degree varus on the tibia is normal, and you can see there the X-rays don't look bad. 1 or 1.5 degree valgus on the femur, 3 degree varus on the tibia. The critical point is that the gap in extension has to be absolutely well balanced. That's not negotiable. Lateral laxity is not acceptable. And in sagittal plane also you can see we have given 5 degree flexion to the femoral component, which is parallel to the normal sagittal plane of the femur in this particular patient. We give overemphasis to this line that we keep drawing, and we aim for a 0. 0 is not the goal. The goal is to recreate the pre-arthritic joint line. 2 or 3 degree varus is very well acceptable provided you are well balanced in extension and trapezoidal gap in flexion. And we are not always in bipedal stance. We are mostly in single leg stance. So this bipedal stance X-ray that we keep analyzing is overemphasized because we are seldom in bipedal stance. We are usually in single leg stance, and in single leg stance you can see that the joint line is parallel to the ground because of knee adduction arm. More important than these X-ray evaluation is the evaluation analysis of the gait. The gait, there should be no lateral thrust, and in the sagittal plane, the knee should hyperextend 1 or 2 degrees because we need hyperextension 1 or 2 degrees in foot flat of the stance phase of the gait. And the knee should hyperextend a couple of degrees to ensure that you can propel forward. We can also allow deep flexion once you don't release any ligaments and you do kinematic alignment. You can also allow deep flexion. It's interesting to observe that when we do a fluoroscopic analysis of this patient, there is no condylar lift-off and there is nice femoral rollback because you have preserved the lateral flexion space little looser than the medial space. So those are the 10 commandments of kinematic alignment which if followed religiously, you can get good results even in extra-articular deformity. Thank you very much.